Hmm? It is not stated clearly, this Sotapanna, how he enters Nibbana, but either he can come back to the human realm and practice and enter Nibbana, or from one of the higher heavens. But since the state of Nibbana is a very high state, so the mind he must eventually probably cultivate his mind to such a peaceful state that is near to the fourth jhana, so that then only when he dies, the mind will become so cool. There are some people, for example, anagamins, they don't attain arahanthood. Anagamins, they have attained the third fruit, so they are born either in the fourth jhana plane, Suddhavasa heavens, or it is mentioned in a sutta that if they have cultivated arupa jhana, then they are born into that formless realm, the formless jhana heavens, which is higher. So from there, when they die, they don't attain arahanthood, but when at the moment of dying, because their mind is already used to entering the high state of jhana, so when they die, the mind will just enter nibbana. Anagami, non-returner. Once returner is called a once returner because he has got to come back to the human birth one more time. So if a person comes back as a once returner, Sakadagamin, he will probably be like our Siddhartha Gautama. He will go forth on his own and practice until he attains the jhanas. Then the memory will come back. So the Dhamma knowledge will come back, and then from there he will attain arahanthood. Yeah, different types of Sotapanna. Some take 7 lifetimes, some take less. Non-returner is anagamins. They must have attained the 4th jhana already. Understanding dependent origination.
What is the difference between this household and those understanding?
The depth is different. Just like Ananda, he says he has seen dependent origination very clearly, but the Buddha said not so, not so. Knowing as a formula is not really understanding. Not really understanding. You have to see one by one how it is true. That's why the Buddha said you have to contemplate thoroughly. When you contemplate thoroughly, that's why this is vipassana. Vipassana is contemplation. But then it also depends on the state of your mind. If your mind has attained to one-pointedness of mind, then when you contemplate, you will understand at a deeper level. Whereas a person who has not attained to one-pointedness of mind, he will understand at a shallower level.
What he means by contemplating is logical reasoning or something else when you contemplate.
When you contemplate, like on the Dhamma, you can think about it, reflect on it, think about it. But how much you penetrate, it depends on the state of your mind. Just like, for example, you ask a few people to contemplate, say, like a solution to an economic problem. Simple thing, solution to an economic problem. Different people will come up with different answers depending on their wisdom or their intelligence. So in the same way, different people contemplate the Dhamma, their understanding depends on the depth of their mind, how much wisdom they have. Okay. Which sutta is it? Nidana is talking about cessation of craving. Right? You are saying that the Buddha said if you experience a pleasant feeling, you should not take delight in it. If you experience a painful feeling also, you don't take delight in it. So we're not supposed to take delight in jhana, meditative bliss. There is a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya which says that when we have a pleasant feeling that comes from the normal worldly enjoyment, that means from seeing, hearing, smelling, taste and touch, there is a tendency to crave for it, to cling to it, but not with jhana. With jhana, although a person when he experiences jhana, it is very blissful, but actually there's a misinterpretation from the commentaries. A lot of Vipassana monks, they say that you can be attached to jhana and all these things. And the comments about jhana, piti and sukha are out now because they follow the commentary. For example, they say piti can be very strong and all that, overpowering and all that. But if you look into the suttas, the Buddha says this piti and sukha is a subtle feeling. It's a subtle feeling. It's not a strong feeling. What is strong is the mind. The mind is so strong that no feeling can overpower the mind. The mind in the state of jhana is extremely strong. And these piti and sukha, these bliss states, are subtle feelings only. And there is no tendency to crave for it. In the sutta is mentioned, in the states of meditative absorption, there is no tendency to crave for the meditative bliss. So, wrong opinions, wrong concepts, wrong views have been given by Vipassana monks to discourage people from enjoying the bliss of meditative absorption. Whereas in the suttas, the Buddha says, if people ask, do the sons of the Sakya indulge in meditative bliss, the Buddha says yes. And then Buddha says he encourages his monks to indulge in the happiness of meditative absorption, because he says there are 4 advantages. You constantly dwell in the jhanas, you can attain the Sotapanna, Sakadagamin, Anagamin, and Arahant Buddha. So it is blameless, blameless pleasure. Wrong view, wrong view. They don't understand jhana. There's a famous Vipassana teacher says jhana is useless. He says, when you are in jhana, you don't know. It's like you are in a state of trance. You don't have mindfulness, he says. Then when you come out of it only, and then you realize, oh, I was in jhana. There's a complete misinterpretation of jhana. When a person enters jhana, the mind is very mindful, very alert. And that is also stated by the Buddha in the description of the third jhana and the fourth jhana. In fact, the Buddha says in the state of the fourth jhana, the sati is perfect sati in the fourth jhana. But this ignorant Vipassana teacher says that in jhana you have no sati. In fact, in the sutta, the Buddha said that there are few reasons why the true Dharma will disappear. One of them is disrespect for the Buddha, disrespect for Dhamma, that means the suttas, disrespect for the Sangha, disrespect for the training, and disrespect for Samadhi, belittling concentration, belittling Samadhi. Whereas the Buddha always praised Samadhi in certain monks because of the ignorance, they belittle Samadhi. And this will lead to the disappearance of the true Dhamma. In fact, the Buddha says that the jhanas are the footprints of the Tathagata. If you want to follow the path that the Buddha walked, you have to go on the way of jhana. Otherwise, you are not walking the path of the Buddha.
But if let's say you declare what you say, you don't decide to the love, you release suffering. If how about the family will treat us wrongly or rightly?
This you cannot force yourself to let go. It comes from understanding, comes from maturing of your mind. And you can help your mind to mature by studying more suttas, listening to suttas like this, and practicing meditation. So you come more often and practice, and then slowly. But anyway, usually I say if somebody wants to abandon the family, I have to make sure the family is financially sound. If the family is financially sound, it doesn't matter if your son is 1 year old, you can still go off like the Buddha. The Buddha, the son was just born. He never worried that, he has to do his father's duty to bring up the child. No. Because he's got this young kid has got the grandparents to look after him, has got the mother to look after him, got a lot of wealth to look after him. Then the Buddha just walked off. Wait, one by one, don't ask. There is no clear cut distinction. The mind, there are three Pali terms for the mind, and they are Chitta, Mano and Vijnana. Vijnana is very clearly defined by the Buddha to be 6 types of Vijnana. The seeing Vijnana, seeing consciousness. Vijnana is consciousness. So you have seeing consciousness, hearing consciousness, smelling consciousness, taste consciousness, touch consciousness, and thinking consciousness. Okay, so this Vijnana is very clear. Mano is the thinking faculty. Mano is actually one of the 6 sense organs. Just like the eye is an organ. So Mano is the thinking faculty. So that is Mano. That also is quite clear. Not only thinking, like creating karma also, intending is also due to Mano. But Chitta is not very clearly defined. Chitta is generally the mind as a whole. But you must remember these terms are not clear cut, because when you talk about mind, like in the 5 aggregates, the Buddha says, we take ourselves to be the 5 aggregates. We take ourselves to be this body and this mind. And in these 5 aggregates, you have body, feeling, perception, volition and consciousness. The last 4 is supposed to be mind. Feeling, perception, volition and consciousness. This is supposed to be mind. Now, you look at feeling. Feeling is part of the mind. So, just now we said 3 terms define the mind. Chitta, Mano and Vijnana. How about feeling? Feeling is also part of the mind. You cannot say feeling is not the mind. You cannot say perception is not the mind. You cannot say volition is not the mind. So all these terms are related. So it's very difficult to pull one out and say this is that. They are all related. Without consciousness, can you have feeling? You cannot. Without consciousness, can you have perception? No. So feeling, perception, it comes together with consciousness. Otherwise, there's no feeling, there's no perception, there's no volition. So they're all interrelated. It's just that this mind, because we use it in different ways. When you use it for seeing, the Buddha says that is consciousness, vijnana. When you use it for thinking, the Buddha says that is mano, the thinking faculty. So when the consciousness descends in the womb, the Buddha calls it the citta. So they are all related. You cannot simply say this is this, this is that. No, they are all related. So no point to split hairs. Sometimes certain things we want to be too defined too clearly. It's not possible. You see, firstly, the rebirth of a being, that person generally has no control. You cannot say, oh, I want to choose to be this, to be that. Generally, because when we are dying, you may think you want to be reborn here, you will be reborn there. After some time, your 6 senses start to close. You won't be able to see, you won't be able to smell. After some time, people touch you also, you don't know. You won't be able to hear. And then, as you go deeper and deeper into that death state, after some time, you are no more breathing. Okay, your breathing has stopped. And your heart also has stopped. Then the doctor will come and examine and say, oh, this person is dead. When the doctor says this person is dead, It means this person is clinically dead. But in the Buddha's teaching, that person may not be dead. Because the Buddha says, when a person actually dies, three things must stop. The vitality, maybe in Chinese we call the qi. The qi has stopped. Okay. Secondly, the consciousness stops. Thirdly, the body heat stops. So, even when the doctor says somebody has died, his mind may still be working. Usually, the mind will still continue to work. And when you touch the body, it's still not yet cold. So, for example, one Penang devotee told me a few years ago, the mother died of cancer. So, at the last moment when the mother died of cancer, she was in pain. So, when she died, you could see the face, very painful expression on her face. But 1 hour later, the daughter told me the face changed, after she died. I mean, after clinical death, face changed and became very bright and happy and smiling and all that. That means during that 1 hour after the doctor pronounced her dead, the mind was still going, still doing that 1 hour. And those last thoughts, we have no control over our last thoughts. Those last thoughts are conditioned by our karma. If your karma is good, you always think of helping people, always think of meditating, keeping sila and all that. Those last thoughts will be because your behavior is like a deva or devi. So your last thoughts or deva or devi thoughts will bring you to a heavenly rebirth. So when you have those thoughts, and you may see devas or devis coming to welcome you, so you're happy, happy. So the face is smiling, happy. So on the other hand, a person with an evil heart, always thinking of harming others, when he's dying, those last thoughts, he's fighting with people, chased by other beings and all that. Then he sees himself being reborn in a ghost realm, always chased by the hell in the hell realm. So always chased by hell beings. So we don't have much control where we are going to be born. So no need to think so much. Important is to do our work now. Cultivate the mind so that our everyday thoughts are very important. Our natural frequency. If you want to be reborn, for example, in heaven, right now your character has got to be like a deva or devi. So that is your natural frequency. So if you are behaving like a deva or devi, then you will go to that realm. But if your mind is muddled up, restless, full of greed and all that, it's very natural. Either you are born in the ghost realm or in the animal realm, because that's your mind is like a ghost or like a animal. So that's why it's important to cultivate our mind. And to cultivate our mind, we need the theory from the Buddha's words, and the practice is our meditation. And not only that, you have to keep your sila, watch your mind every day, control your mind. If you cannot control your mind and the mind controls you, the Buddha said, you are full of suffering. An undisciplined mind, in the suttas, the Buddha said, an undisciplined mind is a source of great suffering. A disciplined mind is a source of great happiness. You look at the monks who attain the jhanas, because they have totally disciplined their mind until the mind becomes one-pointed, unmoving. Most of us, we have the monkey mind, but the person who can enter jhana, the mind becomes so disciplined, totally immovable. But in that state, great bliss arises, so that when that being is born into the jhana heavens, first jhana or second or third jhana or fourth jhana, that being emits light brighter than the sun, according to the even the lowest jhana. The first jhana, the Brahma, Devas, their light goes out to the minimum of 1,000 world systems. That means it's much brighter than the sun. Goes out to 1,000. And some of them goes up to 100,000 worlds. The light can reach 100,000 world system. And those who attain the second jhana, the sutta say, every day they are exclaiming Sukha, Sukha, Sukha. For millions and millions of years they are saying Sukha. Much better than our ecstasy pill. Ecstasy pill only maybe half an hour, 1 hour. What is 1 hour, half? After 1 hour, when you get out of the ecstasy bliss, you experience dukkha. Dukkha, the opposite will come. But this one, millions and millions and millions of sukha. And then the third jhana, the Buddha says that being is so happy, chutta sang, cannot say anything. So you can consider becoming a monk. Good, good. Actually, according to statistics, monks and nuns live longer than other people. Okay, stop here for tonight.